Hi folks, it's me again. I'm back. And I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but instead I am having a ball doing other stuff. So, oh, look at that, I just got an email that I'm live streaming. How cool is that? I need to post out links, so just bear with me a moment while I do that. It's always a fun challenge. Okay. Bear with me. Hey Joe. Joe is first. Well done. Well, actually, technically, I'm first. You're second. Okay. The link, get shareable link. Here we go. I'm just going to post on my Discord and then on Twitter. Some cool stuff. Come and join. You are awake. If you're not, wake up. Not. Okay. Oops, I didn't do the @ Oh, that didn't work. That did not work. Hang on. Delete. Try again. Yes, send now. Cool, and I'm just going to tweet it out, so just bear with me, please, for a little bit longer. If you're not, wake up. Yay. Just going to put the thumbnail on this one. And tweet. Hey Joe, 2 Joes. 2 Joes, that's pretty cool. Okay, just make sure the tweet went out. It did. Okay, yay. So now I need to clean my desktop back up again so I can find everything. Leave that open, that. Okay, I think we are, quit that, discard. I think we're good. I think we are good. So, I have made some pretty cool progress on what I was working on yesterday. Yesterday was the mechanical side. I did actually improve that, and I'll show you in a moment, but I also have been playing around with the optical side. Just hacking code right now. It's not clean, it's not neat, it's not good Python code, it's just experimenting with different ideas and how I'm going to do things. And Captain Colonel's here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so to start with, I will just quickly, except I've got, well, let's see if this camera's working again. Let me see. I had problems with the webcam yesterday. I'll switch to the webcam. And so I did actually improve the stability and the squareness of this build now. Yes, I've got the camera mounted. What I ended up doing was I did end up shifting these side bits out a little bit so I could use these square corner. Let me see if I can show you one from the other side. So these are designed to do a corner. Okay, let's do that one. Designed to do a corner. As you can see here, it pokes down and you get a nice square finish. So I only had to pull it out, whatever the distance is of this top bit. And that's now completely squared everything off. Plus I've got the extra bracket inside. It also means that everything's actually off the table now. There's a gap underneath, which is good. Whether it's the correct gap or not, beside the point, but there is a gap there now, and there will actually be a gap officially, like whether this sits on my conveyor or whether it just sits on a desk. and you know, I just go and say, hey, I'm gonna, you know, check that board for me, right? It still needs to be raised a little bit, so that's working great. Hey Frank. So that's the quick, and then I haven't done any more. Like I was thinking of putting the blocks on and doing the X gantry, but I thought I'd have a play around with OpenCV a bit, and there was a few things that I didn't do in my first video. Let me just go back to here again. Put in some caps for those corners to avoid scratches. It's sitting on a mat. There's no scratches. Well, and if it is, it doesn't matter. I've got plenty of these mats. But yeah, it won't stay like that. The idea is I'll build this up further, like on my design. It should be sitting about, you know, 20 centimeters off the table, ideally. But for now, this is fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So when I was doing my original OpenCV work on my stream a while ago on my main channel, I did get some really cool stuff going, and I got part detection and comparison and all those type of things. But everything was based on it knowing what board it was, which is fine, and using a definition from my pick and place file to know where all the parts are, which is also fine. And I don't see any reason not to do that going forward still. Though I would like to add panel detection so it knows which one to load automatically, you know, which definition to load, rather than me having to say, this is a panel of tiny picos. To do that, I need it to actually detect the board, right? And be able to kind of work out where it is. And I also needed to set up the ability for this to understand what its physical scale is, right? Based on the camera focal length here. So, I'm just going to move this. Not quite what was in the thumbnail, but I'm going to switch over. Now, this will be interesting. This may or may not work. It might be upside down. Yep, okay, this is upside down. And then that's also going to be upside down. Okay, so this is me taking a HDMI feed off my, right, this is me taking a HDMI feed off my camera, sorry, off the Raspberry Pi this is running from. Hey Dutchmaker. Well, it's 1:30 in the afternoon for me. It must be your really, really late. No, it's going to be your good morning, I guess, like what, 2 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. I'll have to flip this around just for now. So let's rotate this 180 degrees. Okay. Hey, Keith the EE. I am well. I hope you are well. It's really warmed up today, and I'm supposed to be working on other things. Like I'm supposed to be doing a pick and place production run today, but it's too warm. I don't want to run the oven, so I'm playing instead. So as you can see, this is my Raspberry Pi desktop, and I can. Are you in China? Right, I totally forgot that. You have told me that before, but a long time ago. Okay, well it is nice and early for you. Great, on a Sunday. So I'm actually, so this is going to be running a little bit slower than it normally would, because I'm also remote desktop to it, because that way I can actually, control the mouse and the keyboard. And so I'm hammering the Pi right now with the remote desktop session, which is going to make just the general everything run slower. But you'll see it's still perfectly fine. Without the remote desktop running, I get like 3 or 4 times the performance of the camera updates and stuff. So what you can see here is this is OpenCV. This is just a 1280 by 720 image. It's capturing real time off the camera, as you can see. Actually, that's pretty interesting. That the camera update in OBS is actually not too bad. It's not full speed. But in remote desktop for me, it's terrible. It's like a quarter of that frame rate. Anyway, that's real time. Yep. Don't have to straighten this paper. I don't even have to use the paper. I'm just putting the paper in there now. But as you'll see, I can remove the paper. That's fine. Oh, Captain Colonel Wow. It's a multilinguist. So what I've been playing with this morning, well, firstly, okay, so what you're seeing on here is the camera looking down. It is centered. There is a twist, and it's not on the frame. So if I put a crossbeam in that is sitting right between the top frame, you can see that it's centered, but there is a twist. That twist is actually, unfortunately, in the little holder for the camera, which is really annoying. The metal frame's slightly bent. I'm going to have to obviously come up with something else. So it's this bit here. If I grab the camera, right, it's, oops, didn't mean to turn it, but it's got a twist. You see that? I can twist it. That's the metal. So for now, it doesn't really matter. This whole system, the way it works, doesn't even care if it's centered or not. But the reason I want it centered is I don't want any distortion. Right, obviously if it was like this, then I'm going to be seeing components at an angle, and I don't want to do that. So I just center it on this bit of extrusion that's sitting between the two uprights. I take that away. Anyway, so what you're seeing is the a center cross here, and then this square is a region of interest that it's looking to detect the panel and detect that the center of the panel is within this space. Right? Now I've got all this working already, and I'll show you it working now. So basically the panel is off the screen and it's just discarded. If I bring it up here, it's discarded. Right? If I go like this and have it clip, like even if it's in the center, close enough to the center, yeah, that's the center there of the panel, so it's in the range, it's discarded because it's clipped off the top. But as soon as I get it close, it detects the panel, and it detects the size of the panel and the angle of the panel. Now the reason I'm doing this is because this is going to either come in on a conveyor if I ever get that far, or I'm going to want to just go grab a board and stick it in, right? And I want to make sure that I'm sticking it as close to the center as possible, because the further up to the side I make it, right, that's still just within the center. That's the center about there, right? But if I take it to here, and that's outside, if you look, the perspective on the antennas on the side, they're starting to warp, right? Over here, I can see the pins of the USB connector, but over here, I can't see the pins of the USB connector because of the warping. So this is how, so like I was asked in my video yesterday and I didn't reply to it. I was asked afterwards in chat and I didn't reply to it because there was a misunderstanding in the question, and I thought I'll show the thing. So the question was, how will the system know when to stop the board? Why can't there be a timer flight sensor to detect the board, or some type of limit switch or something to stop it? Well, I can't do that because I can't be anywhere near the board. So everything has to be happening optically. Oh, I just lost my chat, bottom of my chat, hang on. Yeah, let's do English here. Sufficiently advanced OpenCV is industry neutral from Magic. Well, you got to see my OpenCV coding first before you make that decision. So I need an optical way of doing all this. So this is recognizing the board right now, but it's discarding it because of the center. And you can't really tell that. So I'm about to change my code to handle this differently. But the second it's within the range, it's fine. And if it is clipped, it's discarded completely. And I've got different stages of it being discarded. But that's pretty quick, right? I also want to discard it if it finds my fingers and stuff. It was picking all that up before and making really weird bounding areas. So that's working really well to start with. But the first thing I want to do right now is I want to draw a red border around it when it's in a bad space. If it's discarded, it's discarded. If it's found but it's not in the right area of interest, I want it to be a red border. And if it's in the right area of interest, I want it to be a green border, or a blue border, or a whatever border. It doesn't really matter, right? I also have to fix the angles. Now, just to quickly show you before I start making these changes, there's a blue dot in the bottom corner here, right? It's detecting right now that the starting corner, so OpenCV is weird. It doesn't always, it always uses, actually I don't even know if it uses the same order in terms of its corners, but it works out which corner to use based on, hey Randall, based on if the bottom left edge, right, or the top left, it uses the bottom left or top left based on its distance to work out, based on its rotation. So that's really hard to explain. If you see right here now, it's using, see the blue circle? Maybe I'll make the blue circle bigger, so you'll be able to see it. Hang on. Make it 6. Let's quit that and go again. So I'm using, there you go, it's a bigger dot now. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I am SSH'd into it by there, and I'm then obviously using the, I mean, I could be running the code on remotely here rather than on the desktop here. Maybe I'll do that so I can get this in the center. Anyway, so you can see right now the blue dot is there because of its angle. Now if I rotate the angle this way, the blue dot will go to the top corner. So makes it really hard to know where to start. And it's not really a problem except my height, width and height thing. You see, every time I put my hand on, it removes the thing. You see I've got its length and its height. Well, where to put them totally depends on where the starting corner is. I've had to do some pretty yuck mathematics. But you'll also notice that the rotation now is going backwards from 90 when it's in here, but it's going up from 0 when it's this way. So I also have to fix that. I actually found an article about it, and there was some code in C# that deals with it. I've got a link to it in my code, so I'll have to have a look at that. I want to be able to also determine what the angle is, because I want to also discard based on angle. I don't want to capture a board with an angle like that, with an angle any greater than about, preferably about 7 degrees. Now the reason I don't want to do that is when I'm capturing the images of all the components to do the comparison, I have to straighten them to compare. And the more of an angle it is that I have to straighten, the more I'm fudging all the pixels and getting massive interpolation on the pixels, which then gives me less accuracy in what I'm comparing, right? So the less I have to adjust it, the better it is. So I want to clamp out a certain angle. I mean, yeah, like I probably wouldn't want to let it capture, maybe that, maybe not. Now on a conveyor, it's going to be straight. But I don't want someone to have to put a board down and go like this, and then have to sit there fiddling to get it perfectly straight, right? I don't want them to have to do that. So I'll put a little bit of leeway in. Hey, Chris. Yeah, this is fun. I am having fun with this right now. What I am going to do is move this to here. And I'm going to, let me see if I can run that remotely, so I don't have to keep moving it over all the time. Will it pop up? No, because it's got no graphical context when I'm running it from here. Well, that sucks. Okay, so I won't be doing that. I'll have to be doing it from here. That's fine. Just every time I open it, see where it opens the window? Like I wish it opened it. I wish I could position it like over here. Actually, maybe what I can do is move my whole, I don't want to relay out my OBS for now. That's fine. I'll just have to move it every time. Cool. Now I can capture this at full resolution. This is not, but this doesn't need to be. This is just for detecting the PCB. Okay, so let's start making some of these changes. Now what I do is I just hit the Q key, which quits it. It's just waiting for a Q. The Q. So now I'll show my desktop so you can see the code. that is going to be upside down as well, or 180. I have to remember to put these back when I do my stream next week. Cool. So I'll zoom it up a bit. It's not great code. I'm just letting you know now. And as I said, it was done. I'm just experimenting. I mean, the file's even called test2. I do have my other code in here. Like I've got my my panel tools code that no one's seen really yet. And I've got my my recognize panel code that I got to after that OpenCV stream, which does all the parts detection, does saving of components. You see save captures and stuff. So it's quite complex. I'm not playing with any of that today. Definitely not yet. It's all got to be integrated over. Hey Jerry. So right now, and yeah, again, just excuse the state of the code. I've got this OK to process bool, and I'm basically going through and setting it. It starts at true, and then based on whatever happens, I'm setting it to false, right? So if there are if it hasn't found any contours, so it hasn't found any rects or anything to grab, it just sets it to OK to process is no, right? It goes through and sets, so it calculates all of the scale in millimeters, everything else. I know what that is right here. My pixels per millimeter and my millimeters per pixel are these values. And I got that because I have a calc physical size script which goes and actually calculates that for me. It gives me that data, and it gives it to me based on you can't see that, based on this. Hang on. Can't find my thing. Based on this. So this is a to scale square that's exactly 100 millimeters by 50 millimeters. Right? So I put this under the camera and it captures this. Hey JF, it captures this and it works out exactly what 100 millimeters are and 50 millimeters are. The star is to make it focus, but it doesn't like focusing on this without me putting my hand in there first. Anyway. So that's how I got my scale. And the scale is correct because my PCB that it's capturing is actually that size, which is wicked. So that's where all of that stuff is happening. Okay, let me just... How much more can I fit that you can see? I'll turn my camera off for the moment just so you can see the rest of the code. So I'm basically saying if I've got a min width and a min height. So what that does is that'll block out anything. I've got those set up here to 40 millimeters by 30 millimeters. If it finds its main rect as something that is not bigger than 40 by 30 millimeters, for now, it discards it. Because it can, on my PCB, it can find lots of rects inside that one outside boundary. It might not find the outside boundary because it's clipping off the corner, but it might find something still big enough inside and think that's the panel. So they're just hard-coded values for the moment. That doesn't matter. So I'm basically saying if the actual width and height that it finds is less than those, don't show it, like early out. And then I'm saying if it's not within the center, that looking area, then also early out. And if it's not early out, then I do all the stuff on the screen. So what I want to do is not early out this. Okay, to process. What I want to do is mark it as it's found, but it's not good. So I'm going to also have an OK to process and an OK is in area, is in focus area equals false. Okay, so that's going to be actually set that to true to start with. Okay, cool. So now if it's outside, if it's got to this point, so it's found something and it's found a panel of a correct size-ish, but it hasn't, but it's not within that area of interest, the center of it, then it says it's not in the focus area. Now, this is an ugly if statement, right? The idea is that this will get moved into a whole bunch of helper methods that'll live in a different script, right? It'll live in a different module. There'll be like a, I don't know, inspection helper module inside there. There'll be a whole bunch of different things. Like right now, here I'm calculating the widths and the heights and the quarters and all those things. I'm just putting them all in here for now. It's ugly, but that's okay. I'll clean all this up later. So if it's in focus area, so we're drawing the contour in red, right? So, which I don't want to do. So I want to do it only if it's not in the focus area. If not is in focus area, then it's going to be in red. I don't need that blue circle. I'll leave it for now, just as a reference. I'm going to need it to do the rotation stuff. And I only want, so I want to draw the red outline, but I don't want to do anything else right now. So I'll put the rest of it in an else, and I'm going to literally shove everything over. So it won't draw the dimensions, it won't do anything if it's not in the focal area. It'll just draw the red box to show where it is. And maybe what I'll do is I'll also add a line showing the center of the board and where it needs to go to, yeah, to give as a hint. It's BGR, so I want it to be blue if it finds it. And I'm also going to make the font color blue instead of red. Okay, I have my email open. Ping. Okay, so let's go back to, I don't know if this will work, we'll see. Should close my email. Gone. Okay, email is closed. Okay, so let's run this and see if that works. Okay, so we've got blue, which is great, so it found it. And if I move it over here, we've got red, and it's not found, right? I might actually make that red. I might make that line a bit bigger, a bit thicker, just so it's clear. Okay. There we go. It's easier to see, right? So as soon as it's within range, it goes blue. Cool. Okay, drink. No, not coffee. This is sugar-free lemon lime solo. I don't know if you have solo overseas. Lemon lime sugar-free. Yum. It's got a zing. It's got a tang. Now, I want to... no, okay, maybe we'll deal with the rotation first. I have to deal with the rotation first. I want to lock out the rotation. I want to get that out of the way. So back to, it's painful to do all this switching. So there was, as I mentioned, there was this link. I also need to talk about cameras. I have to get a new camera, not for this one, but my other camera. I can't use my global shutter camera, but I'll get to that later. Someone remind me if I forget, please. Okay, so this is really long and complicated, but it's basically showing how, depending on which way the box is rotated in OpenCV, it changes the angle and the order. See the calculated angle, and the actual order of the coordinates, right? Now, in my case, when I rotate it full 180 degrees, it doesn't matter. Like it's probably still going to capture the right way. None of that really matters for me. But what does matter for me is the rotation thing. And the other thing is interesting is because of the rotation. Actually, I might put this in the chat. Where's the chat window? Hey, DIY in the ghetto. I'll put this link in here as well if anyone's interested. So what this guy worked out was that depending on the rotation, it would also mess with the correct size of the rect that it's finding. Right? So the box he's drawing is 50 by 100, and depending on the angle, it finds 50 by 100. But if the angle, again, but depending on the angle as it's rotating, it's actually finding 51.95 by 101.94. So it's changing what size it thinks it is. Now, in my case, it's not such a big deal. Like it doesn't matter if mine's out, a millimeter, even 5 millimeters. It doesn't matter because I just want to know the rough center of the rough size in real world space, and then the rough center of each board on the panel. I'll be taking photos that are going to be wider than the board. So if it's shifted, 5 millimeters, 1 millimeter, I mean, this is in pixels. It doesn't matter for me, but the rotation thing is interesting. I want to always be saying your 0 to 90 degree rotation. So this guy's got some code here, which I haven't really looked at, but I want to just put this into I might just make a method and see if I can get this working. Post office, think my 1212 NeoPixels have arrived. Woohoo! Catch you later. Which ones did you get? The 32-bit ones? So the 48-bit ones or the 24-bit ones? There were two types. The ones I got were the 48-bit, but you can get 24-bit ones. Anyway, have fun. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to just paste it for now into a new tab so I can just clean it all up. Okay, so it's going to define fix rotation. Oop. And I need to pass it a what am I going to be passing it? They're doing a minimum rect, so it's going to be a rect. Okay, so I'm going to be passing it a rect. I think that's all I need to pass it. And then, so I don't even know what any of this syntax is in Python, if there is any, like for this stuff. It's not plain text, it is Python. Yeah, the linter does not like this. And really? Okay. So, well, they're calling it rotated rect. That's fine. So rect get vertices. I'm assuming there's a get vertices in Python for this. If not, I'm in trouble. and I want to return, at the end it's going to return correct width, correct height, and is it new angle, I think. Okay, I'm going to save this just as inspection tools. There you go. Inspection tools.py. Okay, so then in here, I'm going to from inspection tools import fixed rotation. So all I want to know is I'm just going to print the values out right now, I think. Well, maybe not. And I'm passing it. Is it rect or box points? I'll try rect just for now. So we get a new width, new height, new angle equals fixed rotation rect. Pretty sure that function side is going to fail. I'm just going to print them out for now and see what we get. New width, can't spell height. And angle. Okay, so let's make sure it works first. It might error out. Yes. Double, of course. Double. No double. New angle equals, and that shouldn't be there. Like, I don't know if this should all be rect. And I'm pretty sure there's no capitals. So this so we get vertices. That's gonna not like that one. Pretty sure. Oh, you can't. No, you can't see. Okay, so. Oh my gosh. What am I thinking? I have not Pythonized this at all, have I? Not even been paying attention. God. Yeah, let's just put C# inside Python. What could possibly go wrong? Thanks for pointing it out, everyone who's watching. Not. So the other day, I went back into Arduino for my Reflow Master Pro, and I was just forgetting to put semicolons everywhere. I was writing Python in Arduino. It was so frustrating. Okay, let's try that again. If new angle equals 90, where did I miss one? Colon there. If new angle equals 90. Mr. Colon there. Oh, Mr. Colon here. Wow. Mr. Bracket here. Okay, seriously. I don't need that. And find anything else? No, probably not. Okay, so here we go. Tuple has no get vertices, so I knew that was going to be a problem. makes your head spin. What, my coding? My bad coding? I apologize if that's the case. OpenCV rect vertices. Oh, Python. Oh, the C# in Python. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Like what? Okay. I don't even know what that link is. And that was the same as the other one. So it's trying to grab the vertices, but there isn't. Where's it even using vertices? Nowhere. Tuple has no angle. Okay. Pos size angle of the rect. Okay. So angle, so I'll just do this. I'm gonna have to. So obviously in C# OpenCV there must be a whole bunch of helpers to do the dot notation. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I just need to do size 0 and size 1 because it's a tuple. Okay, let's try that. No, local variable correctly referenced before assignment. Yay, you've got something. Right, so returning the angle, new height and new width are not being set. New angle is coming back. And all I really care about for the moment is the angle. So maybe I should just not care about that, and maybe stop printing it, and I will put new angle on the screen instead of angle, so we don't flood. Okay, so that's negative 87. Negative 87. And that's right, that's not great. So that's counting, if I go this way, it's counting down from 90. And if I go this way, it's counting down from negative 90. So that doesn't really work. Doesn't really work at all. So what's interesting is I can probably just bypass this completely, just for now then, and put this back to angle. And I'm going to, so I've already got, so the issue is it's the detection of that blue circle, right? So I've already got code here that is going to kind of saying, is it the top or the bottom one? So I've called it left and right, but what it actually should be is, I believe it's bottom and top. Okay, so first Y is, I don't remember which one's which. So where am I drawing my, okay, this is again ugly. Carl circ equals 255, 0, 0, and then I'm going to say if it's 1, 0, 0, 255. So it's going to be red or blue, depending on whether it's a 0 or a 1. That way I know which one each one is, because I thought it was left and right, not up and down. Okay, it's currently blue. There's a blue circle there, and if I rotate here, it should be red. Okay, it's red. So red, so first Y, that's first Y equals 1, and that's first Y equals 0, right? And this is counting down from 90. I'd like this to be 0 going backwards. So instead of this being 83, this should be -7. Right? Is what I would like. Or 7 even. I don't care. I don't care whether it's rotated left or right. Maybe I might care later. Yeah, I'll probably care later when I have to do when I have to fix it. So right now the dot is blue. So that means it's in the 0 state. So I want this actually to be -7. So it'll be angle equals angle minus 90. That should be angle. Oh wait, I did that in the red one. Okay. That's the blue one. Try it again. Silly Sion. What? Why is it 90? Oh, angle equals 90. Holy moly. Wow, cannot type. I should stick to making mechanical stuff. There we go. -3, -6. Now, this way, this should be, I have to get rid of that, put there. Really cool if Python could hot reload, that'd be nice. Okay, so this is right, this is now 12, which is correct. Okay, so these are the two angles. I've got the angles right now, and that's 7. 4. Okay, so that's good. That's now working. What I need to do is discard based on the angle. The problem is this calculation I'm doing is only if it's good. So I need to move this out. This needs to be happening up here. Because then I need to say, if it's not in the bounding area, in the focus area, or angle is less than -5, or angle is greater than 5, I want it to be red. But I'd like it to still draw the angle. I might actually have to if okay, I still want to draw the rect. I'll clean this up another time, honestly. I will, I promise I will. And I'm going to put the text of the angle there so you know what the angle is, and it's going to be in red. Okay, I think I've lost everyone. I'm not even sure if anyone's watching. Okay, so it's good, but if I make it bad, there you go. So it's got it. There's a red border around it, and it's showing that the angle is too big. Now it's got it, and the angle is good. So that is working. What I should also put here, angle must be -5, 5. Must be between -5 and 5 degrees. Okay, so now there's an actual proper error. Not that anyone can read that because it's too small, but if I go to here, so angle must be between -5 and 5 degrees. And if it is, then it's good. Now, right now, this is just sitting here doing this forever, right? It's not going on to the next bit. Oh, that's interesting. It's finding that there. It thinks that's within my threshold. Because my thumb. Anyway, so this is just sitting there doing this forever. What I need it to do now is know when it's stable. Okay, so it's sitting here just running this again as many frames a second as it can. It needs to now go, okay, I found the board and the center of the board hasn't moved for a certain period of time. So now move on to the next step. Right now I don't have a next step in here and I've got no code to support that. The next step would be, obviously, to work out what the board is and then start working out where all the boards on the panel are. So the way I'm going to do working out what the board is quite simple, actually. When it stabilizes, it's going to take a photo. Well, these are photos, right? It's going to take a photo of it, of the cropped area, the blue area, and it's going to use that, it's going to use that to compare to previously captured images of the board. So it's going to have to straighten itself, which is why I need to do that whole 5 degree thing. And I need a way of hitting a button right now that stores that image just to the Pi. And then, so for instance, when I have let's say I've got a definition of Tiny Pico USB-C, a definition of, no, let's forget Tiny Pico. I've got a definition of my Tiny S3, I've got a definition of my Feather S3, and a definition of my Pro S3, right? Each one of those will have a picture of a panel of them saved against the profile. And then what will happen is when it puts a board in there and it goes to detect what it is, it'll say, does this match a Tiny S3 panel? Or does it match a Feather S3 panel? Or does it match a Pro S3 panel? And if it finds one it matches, then it loads the data for that. So that's how it's going to automatically detect or automatically work out what the panel is. But it needs that data set up the first time by me. Hey Bruce. Dinner done, ready to nap. Well, you can nap on watching me doing OpenCV stuff. So, I need to take a picture. I need to straighten it. So if it's like this, right? I need to straighten it, grab it, or crop it, straighten it, save it. I had a long talk with who? What? I'm not sure yeah, don't know what you mean. Okay, so let's get back to here. Someone about cameras and image stuff. Oh, right, okay. Cool. Let me get... Now, I've already got some code that does saving of images and rotation fixing and stuff from my old stuff, and I'll move that in to it at some point. What I need to do though, so this is where I'm breaking, like I'm looking for Q, but I'm going to do a elif, if it grabs a key and it is S, I'm going to save the image down. Right, I'm going to call process, gosh, panel image. And I'm not going to exit, not yet anyway. Now that's not going to do anything right now and it's going to break, but in my recognize panel code. So I don't need to get skew angle because I've already worked out the angle. I need a rotate image. I need this and I'm going to I don't even need this now. Okay. Anyway, I need a rotate image, and I forgot that. I might need all those. I might actually need to do this anyway. That's an interesting. That's an interesting thought. I just had an interesting thought. And I'll tell you in a moment. Once let me just have a think. Let me just see if I'm going to be doing this. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow. What's if I did this? Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work, but oh, this would be awesome if it did. Get rid of that. Oh, if this works, holy moly. Required one positional, extra rotation. Oh, whoops. Yep. Yep. 180. Need to pass at 180. Okay, try it again. Cross your fingers. Oh, nope. Almost. Is it 90? I can't remember what value this needs to be. Oh, forget about the bounding box. Oh, you can't see that. Ignore the bounding box right now. Ignore the bounding box. You see what it's done? If I rotate this, it's out of alignment, yeah? But if I get it within alignment, oh, no, oh, that's close. It automatically straightens it for me. Whoa! It automatically straightens it. Doesn't matter which angle I put it on now. As long as it's within -5 and 5. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to play with the desired angle. Okay, it doesn't like it doing... I have to go negative on that one. Okay. I have to do it... See that? Yeah! So this de-skewing stuff is stuff I wrote on my other one, like my recognize panel from the stream code, where I had to make sure. So I couldn't compare a resistor, like a horizontal resistor, with another one if the one I'm comparing to is straight and the one I'm comparing it with is on an angle, right? Like because they'll never find a match. I always had to straighten it. So I wrote code that would allow me to straighten the image before I go and rip it apart and capture everything. Never intended for it to like do a full straighten on everything, right? that is insane. So I need this thing to now match my this is interesting. This is interesting because the bounding, the contours are done based on box, and box is used above. I need this. Oh, you can't see my. Sorry, you can't see my code. Oh, sorry. I need this code here to calculate my angle fixing and am I within the right range and do I? I need it for my angle, but I don't. See, this is where my rectangle is done, and this is where it's going through and finding my rect, which is why it's drawing the blue box incorrectly, because it's drawing it based on what it already captured. I'm then adjusting the image. See, all my scale and everything is calculated from this. I'd have to recalculate this again. See here, I'd have to find all of the thresholds again to be able to draw a correct box around it and to put the width and height on there properly. Or do I just assume I don't need that? Do I just say, forget it, I don't need it? like if it's red, it's bad, but if it's not bad, then just don't put the thing around it, and then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like this, otherwise I'd have to recalculate all of that stuff again, which is just processing. I guess it doesn't really matter, but and I'm also going to have to work out this angle problem. So that is making, see, that's rotating it to 90, and that's rotating it to that way. I can't remember, to be honest with you, what I used that 90 for. I'm going to have a look at the code again. The extra rotation. Why am I adding extra rotation on? Right, so if it's red, I need to add extra rotation. Rotation equals 0, but if it's red, then extra rotation equals 90. Now pass it extra rotation. So maybe that'll fix the wonkiness. So that is correct. And if I go this way, there we go, that's correct. If I go that way a bit more, that's correct. And if I go too far, oh, that's not too far still. That's minus 4.4. Too far, it just goes red. Too far. Good. So, that's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. I don't need the outline. It's just, I use it there for reference, right? And it also uses that to calculate where the width and height labels are. But I can just do this. Like if it's good, it'll just not draw the blue. There we go. And I can move these width and heights to somewhere else. Is that focus? Sometimes this thing doesn't get in focus very well. I don't need it in focus. Well, I do if I'm going to capture the image. I don't need it in focus to work out the bounds, but if I'm going to do a comparison, it needs to be in focus. Okay, so let's now work out okay, so if I'm going to do that, I might as well, oops. Okay, so I'm going to, these labels, I'm going to take them away from the sides now, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Hey, wagon loads, doesn't make a lot of sense if I'm not drawing the bounds of it, and I'm going to just put it into so height needs to be it's width and length. So length of the PCB is, I'm gonna have to go and change all of these variable names. And the width of it, because the pick and place uses length and width rather than width and height and whatever, but it's, yeah. Again, I can clean all this up another time. Okay, so it's just displaying on the top of the screen now, rather than on the sides. Oh my god, it took me no joke, it took me 2 hours to work out how to calculate the center points of an angled, rotated rect of the two edges. Seriously, there's a whole bunch of code in here just to do that I don't need anymore. But that's pretty cool. And if I move it out of the space, even if the rotation is right, oh, did I break that? Oh no, there we go. So it doesn't fix the rotation here. It only fixes the rotation if it's in the correct region. See that? Oh, magic. Oh no. I do have to recalculate. Damn, okay, I'm going to have to recalculate the bounds anyway, because I need to know where to take a photo. I only want to capture the bounds of the image. I don't want to capture the whole image with all of the white stuff here, right? I just want to capture the PCB. So I am going to have to do that again anyway, but I'm going to do it at the point where I say it's stable. So that's the next thing I need to work on now. Have I lost anyone? Any questions? No? Oh, maybe questions. Can you use an optical sensor to detect leading and trailing edge of the PCB? I don't need to. Oh, so you've missed the start of the stream. Thanks, Keith. There. Don't need any sensors. Don't need anything. It's all done. It's all worked out. It does it all already. All from one camera. Wagon loads. I'll show you. So PCB comes in. Yeah? And it hasn't found it. Comes in. Hasn't found it. Comes in. Hasn't found it. Comes in. It's found something, but it's not close enough to the center. Hasn't found it. There we go. It found it. Done. Stop the conveyor or whatever. All done through the camera and through optical inspection and OpenCV. That's, you see, when I put my hand in, it changes the rotation back because it stopped processing it. See that? And now it's even, as I said, it's rotating it, making it straight. Oh, that's wicked. That is so wicked. But that's not the image that's going to, when the other camera comes in, it's not going to be rotated, right? But we'll have to rotate those ones as well. But I know what the angle of the board is. I know how to fix it. And then if it's not on a conveyor, right? If someone just, if I want to use this just to check a board, I go, hey, I just want to check this board. I put the board down, bang, finds it, fixes it, off it goes. And if I put it too far away, it just won't do it, right? Or it'll tell me that the angle is wrong. There we go. Oh, I just rotated the... Why did my... You see that? Oh, I didn't notice that. Is it rotating the crosshair? It shouldn't be. Oh, it is. Look, it's rotating the crosshair. I must be putting the crosshair on after. Hang on. Deskew. Oh no, I'm putting the crosshair on first. Beforehand. That's why. Can the first cam tell the second cam to rotate the angle? Yeah, no, the camera doesn't have... The camera's irrelevant. The code. Yeah, the code knows what the angle is, and so it can correct any camera. Yeah, I'm drawing the crosshair earlier. Because I want the crosshair on the screen no matter what. So that's an interesting problem. Yeah, I'll have to change the ordering of my code to deal with that. I'll have to keep a clean version. Well, I need to keep a clean version anyway, because... actually, I need a clean version because when I process it, I don't want the crosshair on there. So that's easy to do. I can just... Okay, let me go back to the code. Where's my crosshair? Okay, here's my crosshair. And the area of interest. Except that, I want that there. So just before I process, just before I show it, I'm going to add it there, which means I'll have to keep a clean version of the image. I'll have to duplicate it to show it. So in this section here, I'll have to keep a clean version that I then process. If the cam rotates, then your pixels will be squared to the PC. So what do you mean if the camera rotates? I'm not rotating the camera. I'm rotating the image. Not sure what you mean. There we go. I think that's... Oh. There you go. Fixes it, it's square, and the crosshairs are correct. Except it's drawing the crosshair over the text, but that's okay. So I'm going to need a clean version of the image. Okay, this is the copy command. So when I was going to say I was going to have a clean image, clean frame equals none, and then when I deskew it, I'm going to say clean frame equals frame.copy. So now I've got a clean frame. And just to show you that, if I put clean frame, if I actually display clean frame instead, there'll be no crosshair or text or anything on it. It'll just be the image. See that? Except this will fail if it does this, because it'll never get copied. Or it'll, don't know what it's done. Have I broken it? No, okay. X and Y of the image is true with X and Y of the camera, no skewed pixels. Y of the image. I don't know what you're trying to make, what you're trying to get at with that wagon loads, but that's not correct. But either way, it's not relevant to what I'm working on. Like I've got physical space, I've got image space, I've got I've already know what my millimeters to pixels are, and my pixels to millimeters are, and the system already knows the scale that it's looking at, so it can calculate the width and height and everything else. There's no, when you say skewed pixels, there's always going to be skewed pixels. It's impossible to avoid skewed pixels, whether they're rotated or whether they're distorted, whatever. But pixels are still always square, right? So skewed is the wrong word. Interpolated pixels. There's always going to be interpolated pixels. Position of the camera is irrelevant to that. But this camera, everything I'm doing right now is with the top camera, and the top camera is just for panel detection, right? We haven't even gone on to the whole parts detection and boards and everything else yet. That's uses a different camera, uses position, like XY position of the gantry, which we're not up to yet. I don't even have an XY of the gantry. Yet. Not today. So, right, what I want to do here is say if clean frame is not none. So we want to show the clean frame if it's not none. I'm talking about the effect of looking at horizontal, like on the other side of a screen window. Horizontal lines. Okay, I still don't know what it is you're trying to. Okay, right. But I can't build a system that requires the PCB to be perfectly pixel perfect, the center of where the camera center is. That's impossible to align. We are expecting a big kaboom, or at least a gantry. What, today? Yes, no. Today, it says on the thumbnail, OpenCV today. Okay, else we're going to show just the frame. There's got to be a leeway of where the panel sits inside the. That's why I've got that area of interest, which, again, you won't be here for, and I probably haven't explained it for you. So, clean frame, really clean. I can't spell. There we go. So it'll show the bad if it's bad, and if it's good, it'll show the. Oh no! What happened? I don't need a correct parallax view. Parallax view isn't a problem for me. That's what I'm trying to explain. Hang on, there is something going on here. Oh, that's already calculated. Oh no, what am I doing? That's really funny. I don't want to show clean frame. I was just showing that clean frame was there. Okay, wow. I don't know why I put it all that. I put all that code in for no reason. Because it already knows where clean frame is. Like, I was just showing you that clean frame was there. Okay, good. That's better. Back to where we were. So just so you understand, wagon loads. So this green area. Is my mouse visible? Can you guys see my mouse? Kind of, yeah. Okay. This green center area. It's looking for the center of the PCB, of the entire PCB, to be inside this center. Right? So if I move this outside of the center of that focal area, so this is the center of the PCB right here. Okay? Halfway through the panel, up and down, pretty much. If I move that out of that center section, it says, no, I won't process, right? It's got to be within, the center of the panel has to be within the center of there. It doesn't really matter where it is. Like, this part here is only for detecting the panel. And I want there to be minimal distortion, but it doesn't matter if there's distortion. It doesn't matter. Because at this point in time, I'm not using any of this data for any of my inspection. I'm only using this data, this view, to say, oh, okay, I found the panel, it's good. Do I know what it is? Yes. Okay, this looks like a tiny Pico panel. Great. Now that it's a tiny Pico panel, where are the boards on the panel? And then it'll go and it'll know that there's a board there, all those boards, right? It knows where they all are. It'll work out in physical space the center of each board. Then it'll move to the second camera, and the second camera does the work. The second camera is much lower, and it's on the XY, and it'll be taking photos of the center of each one of these boards, right? Where there'll be less distortion across a panel. Will there still be distortion? Sure. You can't avoid distortion. You can't have the only way to avoid distortion is to have a super big megapixel camera, like 50 or 60 megapixels, that is really high up, right, with a zoom lens. And I can't do that. I can't build an optical inspection machine that's 3 meters high. And even if I did that, what happens is you get less distortion, but you get more filtering from the camera, which means you end up getting inferior picture, even though it's got less distortion. So there were ways around a lot of that type of stuff, and I'm not there yet. Like, maybe that's why you want it within. That's why I ideally want it within a tolerance. Well, it shouldn't really matter. The reason I've got this tolerance, I'll tell you honestly, this tolerance here is not for parallax or anything. It's because I want to make sure that the panel is not too far to the left or the right or up and down. Like you can see here that I might be in the center, but if I go too far this way, oops, it's not too far yet. If I go too far this way, don't know what that was. It'll block it out. And that's because I don't know how far my gantry can move yet. Okay, like it looks like I've got no space there, but I've actually got more. Like there's an extra from the edge of the board, the panel there, to the frame. There's about, I don't know, 10 centimeters, right? I want to make sure that my panel isn't sitting in a point that the XY gantry can't get to. Now, you can see here there's distortion now. You see there's distortion on the corner? You can see it's not quite straight. The further I go to the edges, the worse it's going to be. That's why I've got that center thing. I don't know why it's doing that. That's really bizarre. It must be calculating the center corner. Okay, I'll have to go through. I probably need to make 2 more edge cases. I guess I'm trying to figure out if the top left is centered on a pixel and the top right is sitting. Of course they're not. What do you mean centered on a pixel? I can't center this corner on a pixel. I mean, this is physical space, and pixels are just... I don't understand what you mean by all that. How much time do you have to process an entire panel? Are you talking about this part of it, or are you talking about the rest of it? Because here's another option I've got, right? Right now my plan is to go through and take a photo of every board, right? But potentially, depending on... Okay, I need to get back to the camera thing. Okay, so let me take a drink. This is a long conversation. I don't have a time limit on the entire process. Anything that this can do is going to be way faster than me doing it, with hopefully no mistakes, right? So that black and white camera I got that I showed yesterday, it's fed by the plate oven. No, that's not a concern for me right now. I don't even know if I'll ever get this on my production line. So right now, I don't care, right? Right now, I want to see if I can get this accurate enough, right? Accurate enough is the thing, and obviously the more parts on a panel, the longer the panel takes. The reflow doesn't take any longer, but the panel takes ages to pick in place. I've got plenty of time, but anyway. So this camera that I got, this other one, not only is it global shutter and black and white, but I don't know, I thought, well anyway, it's only 1 megapixel. And the biggest they make a global shutter is 2.3 megapixel, which is still only about 1080p. And because the idea with a global shutter camera is you're supposed to be able to not care about resolution, because you can take stacks, you can take, 120 frames a second of photos, and you can stitch them all together. Like my thing could go like this and stitch them all together. I don't want to do that. I don't want to stitch them all together, because then it's going to be a nightmare to do that. So I don't know if this camera is going to be okay to take these photos, right? But here's the thing, because of the resolution. Hey, Hybotics. Because of the resolution, I don't know if I'll get enough pixel density on one board for this camera. But if this thing is fast enough, and I can get the focal length right, there is no potential reason why I can't take individual photos of each component on a board. So sure, one photo here, right? Remember, this thing can do 120 frames a second, or even maybe 240. Let's say 120 frames a second, right? There are 20 boards on here. Obviously, I need to move the thing around, and I don't know how fast I can move it, right? But if I'm taking 20 photos, who knows how long I can move it? I don't even have to necessarily stop. That's the point. I can go photo, 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 photo. Like I can go past it, right? And then come up and go photo, 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 photo. It's fast enough that I can do that. Maybe it'll be fast enough that I can go photo, 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 photo. Like I don't know. Maybe this flipping of the thing is really annoying. Maybe I'll be able to grab photos of each individual part and get maximum resolution per part. I need to get a lot further than this to find out. The fallback though is I found another camera and I can get it locally. It's by the same people, Argicam, and it's a 14 megapixel black and white. It's not global shutter, it's rolling shutter, but it's really good in low light, and it's designed to be like a CCD camera replacement. And it's got autofocus, but it's also got the ability to do software focus control. So it's not cheap, but I'm going to probably buy one of those on Monday anyway, so I've got it. And maybe I'll end up using a rolling camera at 14 megapixels to take each photo, and I only have to do one per board then. The downside is going to be I don't know how much distortion I'm going to get on the camera, and I don't know how high it's going to have to sit. But I've got plenty of clearance here to make it as high as I need. But the higher I make it, the more distortion. No, the higher I make it, the less distortion, but the more I'm going to see more parts on other boards, if that makes sense. Yeah. This is for automated inspection. Dale? Yep. What? I'm now responsible for keeping me from building a couple of arms. I'm sorry. How about you build a couple of legs? So the interface of the new camera is it's MIPI, but it's using the new ISP stuff in the Pi. It's not using their other transport thing. It's using ISP, so it's considerably faster and a lot more flexibility in what you can do. And Argicam do have some low distortion lenses, and this thing does allow me to swap the lenses, but I don't know what I'll need to swap it for yet. I'm just going to buy the stock camera to start with, which looks like it'll be okay. So then I'll have choice, right? It won't change any of the gantry physical stuff, right? It'll just potentially change how high I put the camera on the gantry and how long it takes me to take each photo. Now, the interesting thing is, it's not like a rolling shutter is, a global shutter is fast and it's great for taking a photo where there's no distortion, but a rolling shutter is still pretty fast as well. Like I could do, 14 megapixels at 6 frames per second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 6 frames per second, even if it took me a second for each photo. Even if it took me 5 seconds for each photo, 5 seconds, 20 boards on the thing, right? It's not a lot of time. Way faster than me doing it. And I could potentially, in that amount of time, take multiple photographs. They've also got a color version, but it's only 10 megapixel. The black and white, oh no, the black and white is 10, the color's 14. Right, and I'm thinking of buying both so I can see which way I want to go. They won't do 30 frames, no, they won't do 30 frames a second at full resolution, not at 14 megapixel. No. They do 6 or 9 or 5 or something. Yep. That's okay. Oh, and they take photos in RAW 10. They're not, so that's the thing. So the data I get from them as well is untouched, right? And because they're using the ISP functions, not only is that fast, but I actually get the data, right, at, I've got that in my shopping cart as well. I've got about $500 worth of cameras in my shopping cart right now. Right, and the thing is, for the 21 megapixel, so this one here's a 16 megapixel that I'm using right now. I'm only showing this at 1280p because I don't need this to be any faster or any higher resolution, right? So it's completely overkill. But the other option is a 21 megapixel camera. The problem with that is I can't use that for the XY gantry because all of those cameras have a very far distance for minimum focal point. So I can't get them close enough to the board. I'd end up taking a photo of half the board. Will you have to put the pi on the gantry? No, because I bought really long MIPI cables. Like I've got... Sorry. The pi will be on the unit at the back, but it won't be on the moving gantry. No. The idea is to not have to do that. Not have to move the Raspberry Pi around. I don't want the weight. I want to keep it as light as possible. I want to be able to run the steppers at as low as current as possible. There are stacks of cameras. Like RGCam have got stacks of different cameras. It's quite polarizing. Okay, I need to get back to what was I doing? Right, so I want to be able to save this image. It is a fun project. Expensive project. Still not as expensive as buying an optical inspection system. So, there is that as well. Right, the cameras I got here right now were bought from whatever they're called, Uctronics, UC-Tronics, whatever they're called. It took 3 weeks for them to arrive. Are you possibly inspecting random boards on the conveyor at a given runtime? The idea is I could eventually have one of these sitting between a stenciling system and the pick and place, one between the pick and place and the reflow oven, and one at the end of the reflow oven, and I could be inspecting the boards the whole way through. They'll just be looking for different things. When you say random boards, I always know what boards are in there, but this system has to be able to detect it itself. That's the ideal. Right, where's my save code? I did have some code to save. No, robots would be way more expensive than this. I mean, apart from some expensive cameras, it's using NEMA 17, a couple of NEMA 17 steppers and some stepper drivers and a Raspberry Pi. I would have thought the, am I mixing different? No, how can I mix different boards on the conveyor? I can't pick and place 2 different boards at the same time. Yeah, no. And it doesn't matter anyway. This thing would be able to do that, but that's not how production works. Image right. Yeah, I'm gonna need to. This is gonna be pain in the backside to implement. An absolute pain in the backside. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom in a second. Just saying. So I want a function that can save. No, what did I call it? It was process panel. Process panel image. There we go. Process panel image, and I need to pass it an image. And I have to pass it the image because this is going to have to go and do all of the calculations again. Hello, Mighty Studios. A few more creative steppers could automate that bathroom problem. Well, so could a bucket, really. A bucket and a mute. Right? I mean, you know. Also block the camera view because you don't want to see my face. Anyway, that's actually really funny, Mighty Studios. Thanks. That was a good laugh. Okay, so I'll worry about. It's gonna have to be cropped, but I don't know yet. We'll worry about that in a moment. And right now, I want to see if I can just get it to put an image down. And right, I remember all my pathing was a pain in the backside last time. For the moment, I'm just going to write it just wherever it is, and I'm going to call it panel. There you go, panel.png. Can it tell if the board is face down by mistake? If the board is face down by mistake, that's a problem. Like, well, it won't recognize it. It doesn't, like, it's irrelevant. If there's a board like this, it won't find it. Like, it might go like this and go, yeah, this is cool. It's got something, but then it'll go, yeah, okay, great. I can't find it. If I can't find it, I can't process it, right? Like it doesn't have to do any of that stuff. Wagon Loads. Like this is not a retail product that's going to be sold to any grandma that doesn't know what they're doing. Like this is it's a high tech device. It might not look like it for a high-tech thing that's it's going to have a very low range of use for a very small section of very smart, shouldn't say smart, very skilled people. This can be used for anything. Unpopulated boards, checking that solder paste is on there correctly, checking that parts are placed before reflow, checking reflow boards. It's the same process. It's just it's the algorithms for what it's checking is different. That's all. Like the data it's checking against is different, but everything else about it's the same. So I could my plan is to be able to use this for any one of those three processes, or even more. I don't know. Okay, let's see if this can just write the image. We'll start with that. Yeah, I think that'll be a good idea. Process panel, and what is it? Clean frame. Oh, why is the image black? Oh, it's updated now. Okay, so I run this and I push. So at this point in time, although that's not, let me just get it focused. See, this is why I need software focus, because this, like me having to do that to make it focus, is quite painful. So if I do that and I press S, I should have printed a log. Anyway, I did S, and now if I do quit, do I have an image? Does not look like it saved an image. So let me do a log. Oh, there was something obscure about the file name, I think, for this. Hang on. Right, you can't see that again. There was something obscure about the file name for saving from memory. But anyway, print saving image. Let's go back to, oh no, I want save to image right. Neural network object recognition. Yeah, no, it's actually not a good candidate for that application for that at all. Actually, sorry. Hang on one second. I don't need this to detect what the part is. I don't need it to detect what the component is. And I do want it to recognize the panel, but that does not need... That's a terrible fit for machine learning, because machine learning is about identifying an object where there are thousands or millions of variations of that object. Like a cat. They're all cats, but they all look totally different. This is a tiny Pico panel, and only looks like a tiny Pico panel, and I can't train it on 1,000 different versions of a tiny Pico panel because there isn't. There's one. So ML is kind of useless for that. Does that have to be a JPEG? I thought it was a... I'm pretty sure I can... It's going back to my... This is my old code. I mean, at some time in the future, could it recognize all the parts on the board? Maybe, but that's not needed for anything I'm doing right now. I don't know why this is Let's run it again. See if it prints the log. Maybe it didn't get my S key. Oh, it's not recognizing S. Oh, it did eventually. Name PNG is not defined. Really? You could identify good and bad areas on a panel. The neural network just needs to know. Yeah, again, wrong fit for this. You can't recognize a part has a wrong value if it can't recognize what the value of a part is. Like O402 components don't have any values on it, and that's not what I'm looking at. Like I don't need that. Like, yeah. Maybe there was just a delay because it was saving. S. Didn't do anything. S. No. It's not printing anything. But Q works. So why is Q working and not S? Oh, right. Probably because of this. Probably don't want an if, an else if. Yeah, good bad areas on the panel won't work for this hypothetics either. I'm not looking for good and bad areas of a panel. I'm looking for correct or incorrect either placement or reflowing of individual components. Right? There's too many. Yeah, it's again, it's not a good fit for. I'm telling you, not a good fit for neural networks and machine learning. It's really not. Like, the only way neural networks would work with something like this is if I made 500,000 panels of tiny picos, yeah, and I knew which ones had problems and which ones were good, and I classified them all first to train it. Then it could process more. Well, that's just ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, with cats, there are already a million cats out there, a billion cat photos out there to train stuff with. I have zero data to train with. I can't train. Again, I don't care about that stuff, wagon loads. I'm not looking for orientation of a component that way. No. That's could it be made to do something like that in the future? Sure. I'm not writing any of that right now. I don't need that. Like, this is building panels that I know work. Whether the assembly of this particular panel works or not is in question, but I already know the panels work, so therefore I don't need to be checking if my pick and place machine has put something on backwards, because it won't have, or I never would have got a working panel to start with. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's the why I don't need that specifically for what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, let's try this saving thing again. Nope. See, after a while I hit it and it does something. Now it's saying JPEG is not defined. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Okay, well, I am an idiot. I don't know why it's not processing, like not letting me do it. It's supposed to be image. Okay. I don't know why I have to hit S so many times. Right, saving image, and it saved an image because you would have seen it pop in here. And there we go. That's the image it saved. And that's not in focus. But I knew that because I hadn't done this yet to get it in focus. Come on, focus. Is that in focus? It's also not very high res, right? I'm not taking a high res image. Saving image. Okay. This was for inspecting from first run. It is going where you expect it to go. Well, it's inspecting if everything's going where it's supposed to go, but no, not for... First run for me is on double-sided tape that goes under a microscope, right? Not for this. This won't help me with that, because then I can't put a board full of double-sided tape with parts on it that I've only randomly put parts on certain boards, right, under this, because this won't, it'll fail everything, right? Go to do some serious robot building. Okay, cool. Enjoy your robot building. So I want this to take a, right, this, again, I need it to take a, well, ideally a high-res image. But anyway, let's start off with, let's get this image cropped. So Am I going to add cropping function to save file size? Right. Well, no. Yeah. This. I was just making sure I could save the image first. Yeah. I'm gonna. It needs to cut it out. But it needs to cut it out based on the new bounds of the updated rotated bounds. I'm gonna have to move all of this into helper stuff at some point. Okay, that can go. I mean, this is lots of duplicated code, unfortunately, but for now, that's okay. As I said, this is all hacky for the moment. Do all of that, and then I want to. That gives me my bounding box. So I want to now, I know how to crop, but how do I OpenCV crop image by rect? Oh, I should make sure. Should have written Python on that, and I didn't. Oh, it gave me maybe Python. Yeah, no. So cropping an image is fine. I know how to do that, but I don't know. I want to just pass it a rect to do it, if I can, because I've got the rect. So I can just pass it. Really? Is there a crop? Is there really cv2.crop? See, normally you crop an image like this. Okay, well, I'll just yeah. So on box 0, 0 to box 0, 1. I believe this is how it works. Box 0, 1, 2, 3. But I don't know the order. Yeah, this won't work because I don't know the order of them because of the winding. Oh, so that's why I want to pass it just a rect. I want to do it just from a rect. Right. No, I can do that. I don't even need this. I don't think. I can just go pos, comma, size, comma, angle equals rect. And then my pos. So can I do cv2.crop? I'll try it. See what happens. 0, comma. I bet you I can't. And I bet you it'll be two tuples. Plus 0 plus size 0. Yeah, this one. I don't think this will work. Pulse 1 plus size 1. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. It's going to crap out. It's going to go, forget about it. Focus. Save. 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 Like a variable max W reference before assignment. Ooh. Oh, okay, right. Yeah. Right, forgot about that. I don't need the center. And I do need cont equals 0. Okay. That'll work. I need to work out why this S thing is not working. Max H. Oh, really? I did Y. Oh, shoot me now. Okay, right again. Keep hitting S. Save. Eventually. Oh. CV has no attribute crop. See? You see? I knew it. Oh, it's so annoying. Return of investment. ROI. What? Okay, Y, but this is what we want. Oh, region of interest. Return of investment. Sorry. Corrupt image equals +1 plus I. For some reason it does the Y before it does the X. But anyway. So that's just because it's using a NumPy array. That's why it looks like that. Invalid syntax 141. Oh, left off a bracket. And a NumPy arrays, it's, yeah. Save. S. Whoop. Indices must be integers. Oh, gosh. Really? Why would that not be integers? Print F. Come on. Oh, 3:30. Okay. Cropped image. Oh, interesting. They're not. Oh, you can't see the output. It's too small. Yeah, they're not integers. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to brute force this for the moment. Brute force is always good. I need to put all of this stuff into just helper methods everywhere. Okay, try that again. Save. Oh, saving image, right. And that's not, it's cropped. Yay. It looks like the right shape, not the right position. Yeah, Okay, well. Like it's right, it's at the half, it's at the center. Oh wait, and this is, unless that's zoomed. Is that zoomed? No. Yeah, it's using the center as a starting point. So maybe X and Y coming back is the center. It's possible, I didn't think it was. But yeah, it could be, okay. It could just be that that this pos is this. If that's the center, I didn't have to do my center calculation when I do it over here. That's really frustrating. Okay, right. So then that should, then I just need to go pos minus size 1 divided by 2 pos 0 minus size 1 divided by 2. Save image. Here we go. Is that? I don't know if that is. Yeah, Visual Studio is not really good at displaying an image. Open with. How do I? Here we go. Minus. Okay. So that's closer, but that's still not. Still giving me too much image, but not half. Was that half as much? Maybe it's half as much. Okay, I mean, oh right. Yeah, because it's, I'm shifting the first point, but I'm not shifting the second point. So I just want this to be divided by 2. I think. Quit. Save the image. Oh, got it. There we go. It's not in focus, but again, no worries. So now that's grabbing the image. So now I need to now compare this. So I don't need to save it again now. Okay, I should focus it, I guess. And it'd be better if it was high res, but I can't display it on the screen if it's high res. That's the problem. So that's why I'm running it just at 1280. Oops. Come on, save. There's also not great lighting in here. Like it's being lit from the back from my, like I don't have my main lights on. That would help. Like you might be able to see the top of the image looks better than the bottom of the image. Okay, I'm going to just mute, pause, and be back. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Okay? Back in a moment. Just thought I'd share that. Sorry, also have to take some medication. Someone did a rainbow. Yay. Okay. So I need to be able to load this up and compare it, right? So, I mean, obviously there's a whole infrastructure needed for that. A whole infrastructure. But before I do that, now that we've got this saved, quit that. I need to add the ability to know that the image is stable. So this pos here, I'm not using that anywhere, but that's actually the center. And I have been calculating the center elsewhere. Where was I calculating the center? Right, I've been calculating the center here. Apparently I didn't need to do that. So no, right. I do need to do that. Because this is the center of Oh no, that's right. Okay, no, I don't need to do it. That should still work. Well, let's just make sure that still works first. That it can still detect the center of the board if it's in the right spot. Good, okay. So that is still working. Okay. So I need to detect when it's stable. So that means when the last, I actually don't want that there. I want this outside the loop. Right now this just all runs in a loop, right? So center is 0, 0. Last center, 0, 0. Still needs center here. So I need to spell it right. So basically what I need it to do is say, like it grabs the center, it does all its calculations, it does everything, great, great, great. It's got it, it's in the middle, it's good. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to comment out. And then it doesn't really matter where it does this here, but outside the loop, right? Well, it's not outside the loop. It's not. It's inside the loop. It's outside of the should I process or not. No, actually not outside. It's inside. Okay, I need it to say if center doesn't equal, what do I call it? Oh God. I can't remember what I called the variable because I was yabbering. Last center, right. If center doesn't equal last center, that means it's moved, yeah. Last center equals center. So that means it shifted. Otherwise, now I want to. This is really nasty. This is nasty. What I'm going to do. Center stable count equals 0. I want to do this using time, but for the moment, like a diff on seconds or milliseconds or whatever. But for the moment, I'm just going to do this, right? And center stable time equals 0. Else, center stable time plus equals 1, right? And then I want to say if center stable count is greater than, I don't know, 50, I don't know how long it's going to take. We'll see. You know what I can do? I can print. Okay, I'll print it just so we can see it going up. So if it's greater than 50, that means it's got a count of 50 that it's been stable, right? We want to stop the processing, but we want to not. You know what we want to do? We want it to make it crash. We're going to make it go to next step, which will, and that doesn't exist, so that's going to crash. Crashy. So let's see if this works. Well, that's not doing anything. So it's print reset center counter. So this is going to spam saying reset center counter. So obviously I can't compare the tuples, maybe. There we go, see that? Right, so it doesn't like center and last center doing this. So if center, I can't do a doesn't equal. What I can do is I just want to see what they both are before I update it. Oh, well, there you go. That'd be a good reason why they're not matching, yeah? Because they're big whopping freaking numbers. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Compare center. Compare pos int center last center. I'm going to make a function for this. And compare that, and it's going to be pos 1, pos 2, and say what am I doing? Int pos 1 0, comma int pos 1. So I'm taking the tuples, and I'm putting it into an. I probably could have done this as a list comprehension, but it doesn't matter. I'm making a list out of the tuples of the int versions of them, and then I can compare that. Except that should be P2. And I can return P1 equals P2, I think. And I've still got that print in there, don't I? Should get rid of that. Yep. But I can put the print in here just to make sure this is working. P1, P2, okay. So now I'm not, something's realized on my computer, clicked a notification from a friend and opened his message in 38 tabs. Wow. Okay, look at that, it's going stable. Stable's almost at 50 and error. Okay, 50 is a lot, but it's also printing a lot of stuff on the screen, which takes time. So that worked. Just to show you, see that? Stable, 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 but if I move it, stable should reset. Why isn't stable resetting? What? That means it's always saying it's true. Is my thing not working? What the? What the? Something funky's going on here. They're not the same. Why is it doing... I can't do an equals equals on the list, it looks like. So that's doing a true, so I can't... Wow. There's got to be an easy way to do this. I just can't, either can't think of what it is right now, or I'm just being an idiot, but which is quite possible. Yeah, I thought I had it working, but it's not working. Well, it's not. It is stable because it's not moving, but look at the values it's printing. So it's correct. 0, like 0, 0 is correct. That's last center is set to 0, 0. It's not updating 0, 0, but it's thinking this is the same. So it should be saying if this is the same, if they're not the same, it should be running this. Actually, that should be happening regardless. That should be happening regardless, but this should be false, which means it shouldn't be printing stable. So that's really bizarre. Can you do if list 1 in list 2? Hey, Jonathan. I can. Well. What I should be doing instead is not even using lists, because that's just stupid. Let's just get rid of the lists. P1Y, because this list thing is just overcomplicating things. I thought I could just compare the lists, and maybe I can. Maybe there's something else I'm doing that's stupid. I don't know. Right, there we go. Look at that. So that's not stable. You see that? But why is that not stable? That should be, there we go. Well, so it's going stable, then it's, okay, you guys can't see that. It's going stable, and then it's resetting. And going stable and resetting, and I don't know why, because the values here look the same. I can see when it's when they're different, it's going stable, and when they're not different, it's going up. That's not right. So this is, oh, right. Now that I've done that, I don't want equals. I want if not. Oh, okay, right. Sorry, you can't see the code change, but this should work. There we go. Stable, stable. Out of focus, but stable. Okay, that reset, but that's fine. It's shifting a little bit. There's like at the pixel level, it's shifting. Trouble comparing lists before and in was a solution. Like it's working, but it'll get to 50 now, and it doesn't have to count for that long. But it's so it's also it's a round. It looks like it could be a rounding issue, right? Because of it's doing subpixel, so it's rounding it as part of the int, and then the int thing is that's why it's failing on some of them. So I know that there's a ways around that in like C# has a, can't remember what it's called. Oh yeah, mathf.approximate, where you can say, does this equal this? Instead of saying does it equal, you do approximate, and then it's got that bit of fuzziness. So does Python have, let me switch screens. Python equivalent to mathf.approximate. I don't want to round them. Yeah, like function to determine if two numbers are nearly equal. Nearly equal. I've been asked to test a library provided by third-party libraries known to be accurate to n significant figures. Any less than, I want to write a function to help me compare the results. So Python 3.5, the standard way of doing this is standard libraries with is close. Oh, there you go. From math import is close. Well, there you go. Is close is a that's what I would expect. Except I don't quite know. Don't know what these tolerance values are. Oh, I'll try this. P1 equals is close. If that's the case, I don't even need to, maybe I don't need to make them ints. Maybe I can now just use these. We'll see. Never used any of this before, so return P1 and P2. We'll see if this works. Yeah, that's not staying stable. So it's not liking the settings I put. So is close. We aren't sure if the values of A and B are close to each other and false otherwise. Hey Emery, whether or not two values are considered close is determined according to given absolute relative tolerance. It's the relative tolerance. It is the maximum allowed difference between A and B relative to their larger absolute value. So if that's the case, can I not do... Honestly, can I not go 0.5? What's the absolute tolerance? The minimum absolute tolerance. Useful for comparisons near 0. Okay, so maybe that. Because I just want them I want them to be within 0.5, that's all. Like I don't need it to be. There we go. But if I move it, it should reset. It's not resetting. So that's getting true no matter what. So that was not a good result. Yeah, so that's not working either. It's not finding a negative now. Oh, that's a percentage. Right. It's a percentage. Interesting. There you go, that reset. That's resetting. Okay, that's working now as a percentage. Good. Okay, that's working. 50 is a long time. So, yay. So how long do we want it to wait for stable? Don't forget, I won't be moving it, right? So like 20 should be enough. So like if I take the board out, okay, so can't find anything. I put the board down and there, and bang, off it goes. Stable, done. I mean, that's again way too long, but that's fine. You know, it's about, if it's on a conveyor, it's about making it come in and stop, and if there's any backlash or any bounce until it's still. Okay, so that will do that now. That's good. Good. I should do that as a little bar graph on the screen, but I'll worry about that later. So at that point, I want to then stop all the stuff and compare the image. So like I need to recrop it. I need to grab it, I need to recrop it like I did for the save, and then compare that to all the saved versions. This really needs a code restructure now to start doing all this stuff, because this was not designed, like it's still called test 2, it was not designed to be able to do all this. Yeah. I need to really think out this now. I need to plan it out and make it like this. Yeah, the save stuff that I just did then, with all this cropping and everything else and all that has to be all of it reusable, because I need to do the same thing again for a non-saved, but just a capture. I need to start doing, like, putting stuff into this inspection tools thing. Get this fixed rotation, because we're not going to be using that. I still have to fix that other rotation for the other side, but like, we need a crop image, yeah. Crop image by max rect. Okay, so we pass it an image, and this might crap out because it doesn't know what these things are. But we'll see. So that calculates all of that. And I just want to return cropped image. Is code completely making physical alignment pointless? Is my code completely making physical alignment of the PCB? Yeah, I can't ever guarantee it's going to be physically aligned to anything. It could be manually placed underneath. It could be on a conveyor that is centered to the unit. It could be offset. I don't know. Yeah, it shouldn't make any difference. Like, it should auto correct for everything, which, you know, so this would be cropped image equals image, and none of this should be needed anymore, and I need to just import everything for now. No, okay, I won't. Okay, so that should do the same thing again, but that should allow me to prove this works. Ready for this? This is going to be a nightmare. But to prove it works, right, yeah, I'm going to create a duplicate just for shits and giggles. This is really bad. Process, what did I call that function that after it was stable? Go to next step. Go to next step and clean frame. I'm going to call this function go to next step. And saving stable image. I want it to save the stable image. So there'll be a panel and panel stable. And I want to be able to compare the two of them. Was that Star? Hello, Mike. Was what Star Wars? What I was just humming? No, it wasn't. I'm going to hum it again. Let me know who picks it. Does anyone know what that is? Yeah, I just was humming then. Yeah. Doesn't like the return. Oh, whoops. Peter and the Wolf. Hey, dogs. No, not Peter and the Wolf. I'll give you a clue. It's from a TV show that is currently on air. Okay, let's try this again. Stable, 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 and error. Right, because I need to import. I knew that was going to happen. Around the twist. No. Monday Night Football. No. I'll keep giving you clues if you want. You know, watch TV. Okay. Her name, width is not defined. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, okay. How to get image? How do I get OpenCV get image width and height? I can't remember. Okay, I knew how to do this at one point in time. Bluey. No. Okay, I'll give you another clue. It's a reality TV show. Oh, image.shape. That's right. I knew it. There was something. The Bachelorette. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I mean, don't just go guessing reality shows. Like you'll know it or you won't know it. Like if I mean, you can go go guessing. That's fine. Width, comma height, comma depth equals image.shape. There we go. Except height. Oh my god, I can't spell. I mean, I can't type. Okay, let's try that again. So on this show, a girl hums it. Oh. I keep looping. I need to make it crash. Anyway, so now we have panel. Ready for this? And panel stable. Bam. Okay, so it's saving the image down. We don't want it to save, but I wanted to have them both. So we can compare no, still no takers. Okay, I need to make this crap out, remember? Well, maybe. Go to next step, clean frame. So, go to next step, clean frame. So we crop the image. So we've saved some code here now. We don't want to save it. what I want to do is now load up. I need to know what all my different boards are, and this is where it gets tricky. What I need to do now, as I said, is I need to rewrite all this, which is not going to happen today, and I need to integrate it into my panel tools. So here is my panel tools script, which, let me just get this off the screen. There's a lot of code in here. I'm not going to go through and explain it all, but basically, well, it's actually not that much code, but there is a class called a panel, and it has a whole bunch of information about a particular panel, right? And the panel data is saved in a JSON file, which I haven't even copied over. I probably should do that. This was all done on my I2S Audio Shield, if you remember from that stream. Maybe you don't. But anyway, all this stuff gets loaded in. A bunch of stuff gets loaded in. And then it knows how to create the boards, right? How to and then it also just, I can print a whole bunch of details about it. And so that is how the definition of a panel comes in. So I build a tiny Pico panel. Yeah. What I would add to this would be an image. So it loads all the definition and it loads a reference image, which will be the one it compares against. Yeah. The rest of the stuff in here, like for load components. So there's a board and there's a panel, and a panel has a bunch of boards in it. So it creates components, is a board, and then it tells the board to load the components. And so when I say load components, it's going through here and going through the pick and place file, right? And working out where everything is. Now I did all that on that stream. That all works great, but again, I need to move this over into a bigger framework. So what I can do for the moment though is this. I could completely hack it just to prove that this works, right? Right, I'm going to OpenCV load image. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to do that because that was right here. I am read. How funny is that? So I'm going to, when I first run this, I'm going to make a compare frame. So pretend that, yeah, okay. I'm just going to load up panel.png. Pretend that this was, I got this out of that other system I just said. Hackstream. Yeah, it's all hacking. Okay, so there's a compare frame, and I'm going to, at the point where it's doing this, okay, it does a crop image, and then I want to compare this to compare frame. Now, this is going to be actually quite hard to do. And then at the end of it, I want to call, because I want it to crash, so it doesn't keep doing it. I want to call finish dinner. Who cares? Now, this is where it gets tricky. Doing an image compare is quite difficult. Surprise, surprise. There's lots of different ways of doing it. I could just compare the pixels, but that really won't work because my lighting might be different and my blah, blah, blah might be different. So I've got some really complex stuff in here. This is my main code that I did on the stream that I then went and, yeah. Most of this was done after that OpenCV stream. Like, this is seriously. So it's going through and it's calculating three different types of heuristics. Although I think I settled on one. Right, I ended up going just the SRE. I was doing SSIM, RMSE, and then SRE, laser hologram interference patterns. Don't know what that's for. This is basically what I need to do. I need to go through and do a Yeah, okay, well, let's see if I can hack this in. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. I think I only want SRE. Laser hologram interference band, you can tell if a part is off by a hair. Okay, well, I don't need that, but thank you. I don't even need that anymore. Whoops. Okay. If I get this working, I'll explain what it's all doing, but I've got to remember how it all works first. It's been a while. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Don't need that. I need this because I need to work out a scale difference if there is one, because it needs to do pixel to pixel. So it needs to compare what's it called? Compare image. Oops. Compare frame. So I want to do so what it's going to do is it loads that in and it works out a scale percentage, and then it goes through and has to resize the image, right? It's a lot of crap that I'll get rid of. Okay, so it uses the dimensions to resize it, and this is cropped image, and then it does a where's the key come from again? Oh, right. Okay. Yep. That's not a dictionary. That equals the image we are comparing with our resized image, and then we're getting a value except that's looking for a dictionary, isn't it? Oh, I think. Wow, this is not going to work. Try changing. Python right above, you can add a equals to format string literals. And Python will print not just the value but the expression. Oh, okay, right. Oh, but I don't need to know what the variable name is. I just want to look at the thing. I'm going to go lurk. Thanks for streaming. Catch on the progress, and good luck with getting the next bit. Thanks very much, Keith the EE. Thanks for sticking around for so long. How long have we been going for? 3 hours. I just passed 3 hours. Calc closest val. I don't need that because I'm not checking against that, so I don't need that. I just need right. It's actually simpler than this for me because I just want to know the value for the moment, so I don't even need, I just need to know what the SRE value is, and but I know what you mean by the equals, yes. Just for general, like I could do this, you're saying. I could go like this, and that should print the variable name as well, right? I think you mean that, yeah? So this should tell me how close this is based on this value that I can't remember what it stands for. So let's see if it works. I can't remember what the range is, I should say. In the flying while scanning string literal. Oh, whoops. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like local equals. What? Oh, wait. This is 3.7. This is on Python 3.7. So, yeah. Maybe when I move to my Bullseye platform, I can do that. But here I can't. Image similarity measures. Import image. No module found. What? Oh, catch later, Yumbo Prime. This is not from the same machine. Oh, no, it's not. Right. It's not from the same machine, so I have to install this. pip3 install. No. I forgot. I can't copy. I can't paste here. I've got to right click on it. That's really annoying. Oh, you're saying hello. Right, okay. It is 4:31 in the afternoon here. I've been streaming for over 3 hours. Crazy. That's like 6 hours of streaming in the last 2 days. I know it's not a bit loony, but I'm just pip installing. Come on, installing build dependencies. Uh-oh. Python setup failed. I can't read that. What does that even say? Python setup, PyInfo failed with error code. Wow. Failed to get options for global config. What? Okay, catch you later, Wagon Loads. Thanks for joining. Have a good sleep. Well, this is failing. This is failing to pip install. I wonder why. Oh, it's going further this time. Might be an incompatibility with NumPy version, or NumPy, whatever. I definitely got further this time. Maybe if I keep running it, I'll eventually get there. Oh wait, maybe it didn't. Interesting. It did get further, but it still crapped out. Just show you what's happening. It's nothing exciting, but collecting raster IO. So this time it's not installing anything, but it's still crapping out on the build. Oh. Let me see if I can find this error. Error installing. Links. If you still have problems, consider uninstalling the above pip, uninstall and reinstalling. Seems that your GDAL config is not in one of the usual places in your path. Fiona was unable to find it. Okay, well, pip3 install GDAL, whatever that is. Ooh, not liking this. God. I think it's the version of NumPy I'm running. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. Catch you later, Chris. Thanks very much. This is going to take months and months and months and months to do. This is going to be ongoing for a long time. Ooh, Jerry had snow. Really don't want to make it from source. but I mean, I've installed this on my Mac. It worked fine, but you know. I want to use image similarity measures to do my my image comparison. Because that's what I'm using on my other code. And it's not installing. I'm trying to find a reason. I'm still using. No, you don't need to install. I don't even know what this is, and I'm not using Conda, and I don't even know what Fiona is, and holy moly. So this is the plugin, the thing I'm using, image similarity measures, but it's not letting me install it. So this does different type of image comparisons based on all different types of algorithms, right? Like peak to signal noise ratio, structural similarity, universal image quality. Python 3.6 or greater. What version of Python's on here again? Oh, good. I'll do it. 373. So this should be fine. Just not installing. Or does it have to be in a virtual environment? Oh, really? I don't want to stick it in a virtual environment. Oh, really? I just want to compare two images, but I really want to use this because it's really good. Really, really good. I know there are other ways to do it, but OpenCV compare two images. Yeah. It's complaining that there's no exe. Well, I can't even. It's not even installing. GDL's not even installing. And I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. I don't know what that is, Captain Colonel. I've not installed it. This doesn't say it needs it, so like that other plugin is failing, and the instructions for fixing it, like I can't get GDL installed. Anyway, there is no lib libgdal-dev, not for here, unless I need to do a is it should I get? Oh god, I can't remember. Get, oops, install. Okay, maybe I can't pip install it. Okay, hold on. Maybe this will work. God, this is installing a shit ton of stuff. Hate this. Hate this about Linux. Hey, I want to install this thing. Okay, cool. Well, I need to install these 700 other things. What are you installing? I don't know. Like, seriously. Look at all these things it's about to install. Additional packages will be installed, and look at all these things, like, suggested ones. Does it offer more than SK? I don't know what SK image is. I've never seen SK image. What's SK image? Image processing. Is that what it is? No. Unable to fetch archives, maybe run up, get update, or try with fix missing. Oh, really? Guys, a whole bunch of these are not found. See, why is it installing MariaDB and all that other crap? Oh, so I've just put a whole bunch of stuff on my machine I didn't want. That's really annoying. Ski image cast fireball when making turns down the. That's really funny. I don't want to have to do a an update on this right now. So this other plug-in, hang on. So you're talking about this scikit image processing in Python. Like I've already got, like I'm using OpenCV, like, which does, you know, stack most of this anyway. Like, so is there an image compare? So who was it asked? Right, okay, here. So Chris. So Chris does it. I don't know what this is, but it looks like the test attributes of comparing images that are in that library. I just tried that, Captain Colonel, and it went all the way through, and then threw a whole bunch of errors that a whole bunch of things were missing. Detection of features. So is this supposed to be used with OpenCV, or is this a instead of open? This looks like it's an instead of an OpenCV. Maybe. I'm assuming you're trying to compare a golden master image. Well, in this case of a panel, I just want to compare two panels. And I've already got code that does all that, except I can't install this damn plugin. Yeah. I'm going to, against my better judgment, I'm going to run update on this. Just while I'm looking here. I've been streaming for ages. How long? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to... I don't have time to learn how to do this right now. Need to highlight, know the areas that are different. Right, yeah, no, that doesn't help me. I need to... Yeah, I just want to do straight up... Like, that's what this image similarity measures does. Like, I don't have to... I just say, here are the two images. As long as they're the same size, tell me how close they are to each other based on all these different heuristics. Well, I've got this installed to happen further. Okay. Didn't think I was going to be sitting on the stream doing this though. Yes, it's time to stand up, it said. I've been finding exactly the same problem, getting my Raspberry Pi Python environment to be the same as my desktop. Yeah, that's hard. At least with Bullseye, it's running Python 3.9 now. Like being stuck on 3.7 is just terrible. Oh, Chris, I've got all that working. That's not what I'm trying to do right now. I've got, yeah, that's all solved problem for me. What I'm trying to do right now is compare just two images of two panels to say, hey, I know what this panel is. This panel's a tiny pico. Panel tiny picos. So then it can load up all the data that it needs for tiny pico. Okay, now let's try this again. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to walk away. It's doing something. Oh, no. What? Failed to build GDAL. Now let's try again. Fortunately, I'm stuck with Buster on the Pi I'm using for a project until tomorrow to get working on the new one. Oh, right, okay. Interesting. Yeah, that failed again. Failed differently. Yeah, I see this is just... Who knows what this is? Yeah, I wanted to automatically work out what it is when it gets put down and then load up all the stuff rather than me having to say, this is a tiny pico panel, and then it does it. No, I definitely want to be using image similarity measures. That's what I want to be using. I've got existing code that I wrote with it. It was on my Mac though. That's great. Like, yeah, it's really, really good. So that's what I want to be using. I spent a lot of time trying to find something that was like, it's the best I found out of all the things when I was looking at image comparison ages ago. The only other thing I can think of right now is if I just go back to here. I'm just curious now, which is bad. Being curious is bad. If I can I separate? What did I call it? Sorry, I need to see something first. What did I call this? I can't remember what I called this buster. Install on SSH to it. I know it uses GDAL, I don't care. Well, the issue isn't that it uses GDAL, the issue is that Raspberry Pi is shit. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Okay, I've got the right Python. I've got the right one. Cool. So, can I do can I pip install it here? That's the question. Hey Marius, you missed all the good stuff, mate. So sleepy. I actually slept in this morning. I woke up at 7:30, which is for me is like crazy late. Crazy late. Oh, almost 5 o'clock. What? OpenCV's installed. What are you doing? I compiled OpenCV for this already, unless there's a newer version. Oh no. Looks like there's a newer version of OpenCV now. That's funny. Let's see if that version of OpenCV even works. It's half your good day at 7 AM. That's funny. Come on, build, 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 build. It's going to take a while. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to compare the images today. So, sorry. That sucks. That does suck. No, I'm not setting up. I'm trying to get image similarity measures installed, and it keeps crapping out on my old Buster Pi, but I'm going to see if it works on my new one. Okay, here we go. It crapped out just after raster IO before. Doing this build dependencies right now is where it crapped out. Let's see if Bullseye works. There are a million ways to do it, Chris, and most of them are not what I want. Oh, error. Oh. Now it's trying raster IO again. Oh, it's going back a version. Look at that GDAL config environment thing again. Yeah, you guys can read it. So it's gone back a version of raster IO. Nope, going back another version. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. Can I do a -V? I can't remember. Okay, yep. How far back's GDAL going to go before it craps out? It's not. It's going to keep going in a loop. Oh, no, still going down. Yeah, that's Roku. I don't care about that. Brews on the Mac. I'm not on the Mac. This is on Linux. This is on a Raspberry Pi. So And I just tried installing GDAL, and that failed as well. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing on the screen, but I'm going to try this here. Whoops. I'm trying GDAL again after, yeah, that didn't work. Okay, this is just really frustrating. Oh, look at that. Scikit image. So image similarity measures must be leveraging scikit image. Okay, I'll have a look at that. If this doesn't work, I'll have a look at that. Thanks, Chris. If I wasn't on a stream right now, I would have flipped the table already. Leveraging is a good word. Oh, we're getting further. Catch you later, Jerry. Thanks, mate. I want to get it sorted out so I can just, if I can get this image comparison working, I'm going to finish. Okay, I'm getting like way further now than I did before. This is on my Buster. Sacrifice the Pi life. Sacrifice it to the gods. No, I don't want to sacrifice my Pi, but I might flip my vacuum stencil thing out the window. Come on. Faster, faster. Too slow. What does it need all this stuff for? Failed building wheel for PIF. What? What is that? Pi f to W. What? What's pi FFTW? Bloody hell. Yeah, no, as I said, I want to use this tool because I've already got it working. Like I've already got all my stuff working. Python fast Fourier transforms. Cool. Thanks. Hey, Iggy. Hey, Andre. State of modern Python dev can do amazing stuff in 5 lines of code after 2 hours of pip dependency hell. Yeah. Yeah. This is apparently doing something, but can I run top at the same time? You're going to show me what's happening? Is it doing anything? CC1. I assume that's some part of the compile process. Yeah, I think in a VM it seems to work okay, but so yeah, it's jumping between the CC1 and the assembler. Hey Gary, install from the PPA. What's the PP? What does PPA stand for? I know, as I said, Chris, I've been through all of those. Like I settled on what I'm using now because I got the best results out of it. I got the best set of percentage data of false negative versus false positives versus negative and positive out of all my test cases. And because I've got all that working, I'd like to stick with it and not have to go through the whole entire process again of working out the best algorithm to do it all with. Capital S. This is taking a really serious amount of time to do this, which is just ridiculous. So I really don't think I want to wait for this anymore. But if I stop it, I don't want to start it again. 32-bit. Oh, I'm sure it's swapping. And I'm sure my swap file is too small. Why do you need a gantry? I missed it. Does the camera capture everything? The starting camera just now let me just how do I quit top? Here we go. I'll show you. Actually, I can't show. I have to turn something off. Hang on. 1 second. Okay. Oh, this has got further and it crapped out again. Oh, excellent. So there's 2 cameras in the system, Andre. The first one detects the panel coming in and where the panel is and makes sure that it's in the region that it wants it to be, and then identifies the panel. And then from there, it loads the data, and the second camera, which is on the XY gantry, gets right up to each board and does image capture at the board level, not at panel level, because at the panel level I don't get enough pixel data. Right, just bear with me a sec. I'm gonna have to turn all this stuff off. I have to go and break what I just did. Hopefully I can do that. Oh, I need to turn that off. Hang on. I need to get rid of all my image stable stuff now, because I don't want it to. I'll show you it working. So for those of you that came in late, so as you can see right now, come on, focus. Okay, so you can see the panel, and it knows its width 163 by 99 and what its angle's on. That's a corrected image. If I move the panel over here, okay, then it shows you the panel, but red means it's not in a good position. It's trying to get the center of the panel, which is this, into this green box, right? So the idea is it's coming in on a conveyor belt, or not. Coming on a conveyor, right? Is it good yet? No. Is it good yet? No. It's like clipped off the edge. Is it good yet? No. Is it good yet? Okay, well, it's found the panel, but it's not in a good position. Is it good yet? No. Is it good yet? Yep. Oh, sorry, I gotta fix that. Is it good yet? Yes, it is. So it's got the panel. It's got its size, even though I've stopped drawing the outline. And it's actually corrected the angle. So if I put it on an angle, you see that it's 5.17 degrees. It needs to be within 5 and -5. See that? It's at 4.22 degrees, but it actually corrects the panel and straightens the image, right? So now from here, what it does is which is the bit where I can't get the plugin installed, it goes and compares the cropped version of this image, right, with all of the images for all of the panels it's got in the system. And it says, let's say it loads up FeatherS 2. FeatherS 3 goes, is this a panel of FeatherS 3s? Does it the image comparison? No, it's not. Is this a panel of ProRes 3s? No, it's not. Is this a panel of Tiny Pico USB-C? Yes, it is, right? Then it loads up all the data for that, and then it can work out, it knows that the panel it's a 20 board panel, 5x4, and so it knows where all the boards are, and so it can map out the center of every single board, and then it moves the gantry. It stops using this camera up here, right? And it brings the other one in, and so, it starts going photograph, 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 right? And it starts doing its validation at the board level, because I don't have enough pixel data from the top camera. I need to get as much data as possible per board. So I've got linear rails here, but I haven't built the gantry yet. I'm going to worry about that later. I wanted to get this part working. And this is working great, and it's working quite slow at the moment because I'm VNCing also into the Pi so I can control it. Yeah, obviously when my hand's in there, it won't detect. See that? And so what I was just working on before was, it gets to a position and it says, okay, I'll fix that. And it goes, okay, is it stable? Is the panel stop moving? Is the panel stop moving? Is it stable? Is it stable? Is it stable? Is it stable? Yep, it's stable. Perfect. And then once it's stable, as in no more movement, it then goes on to the next process. Seems like you should filter first on dimension within 2% of what camera first saw. So it seems like you should filter first on dimensions within 2% of what the camera saw first. What I mean, what it saw first. Then I'm not comparing the image at this point in time. It doesn't compare the image until this is stable. Once that's stable, so that's what I had to disable just now in the code because it would have crapped out. Once the movement is stable, it stops doing all this processing, right? It's grabbed the image and then does its comparison, and then when it finds what it's supposed to be, it moves on to the next step, and it's not doing any of this processing anymore. Look at images that are 163 millimeters. I'm not sure I understand. It's not doing any of that right now. Chris? Like right now, like this now, it's not doing any of that stuff. There's no image comparison happening at all. Sure. It doesn't do any image comparison until it goes... until it goes, okay, it's got a board, good. Is it stable? Is it moving? Is it moving? It sits there for like 5 seconds to make sure there's no more movement of the panel. then it stops calculating, does an image comparison to find the board. It only does the comparison once. Right? But I can't get that comparison working, so I can't get any further right now. You and your Harris corner detection, it's not doing any Harris corner detection at all. Now I'm saying for efficiency, if the camera sees a panel, then it should only look for reference images that are close to this size. Oh, sure, absolutely. Right, I mean, that's an optimization. That's yeah, I'm not going to compare that to a board of that size. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Right. Oops, I just threw it across the thing. Yeah, that's... I don't want to have all the data loaded up in memory to be able to do that, right? It's going to, yeah. It knows its size. It's going to try to find something of similar and then compare images. But I've got a lot of panels that are roughly the same size. Like my tiny Pico USB-C panel is exactly the same size as my tiny S2 panel. It almost looks identical, except for the components on the board, which is exactly the same size as my tiny S3 panel, which is identical size except placement of the components on the board, which is why I need to be doing the image comparison to be able to say, is this actually this one or this one or this one? So I'm just so just to show you for argument's sake, like what my code was doing before I could compare it, was it actually, so this is the panel it's comparing against, and then when the image was stable, that's what it grabbed. I'm not saving it. I saved it now to check it, but like it would be comparing this image to this image, which was stored 2 hours earlier, to say, are they the same? Yeah, but I can't get that working now. Not until I work out the installation of this. Oh my God, how frustrating. So I think on that note, almost 4 hours, I am going to call this and say, oh, that is enough. That is enough for today. At least enough streaming. I'll try to hack this plug-in stuff offline. Okay, well, thanks all for joining. This is fun for me to play with. Like, OpenCV is fun. I really enjoy it. Tinker, can you post one of those images on Discord so we can tinker? Nope. Not at the moment. I mean, yeah, the images, they're blurry and they're crap. But, sorry, not right now. Chris. Well, I know what you want to tinker on. There's not enough. There's no image. There's no pixel density in this. Like, it's, yeah. I don't know what you're going to do with it. It was Linux that blew up at the end of the stream. Yes, it was Linux. Damn Linux. Damn it. This image is like a 1280 by 720 image that's really blurry and whatever. Image similarity algorithms. You don't want to be comparing these images. They're blurry. But yeah, I mean, sure, I can put them. Well, I got to copy them over from the Pi. I'll put them on Discord later if I remember. But yeah, these are not the right reference images that you're supposed to be comparing. No, it's what it's not what my camera sees. It's what I'm capturing because I wanted to show you everything working in a viewport. So my camera sees 4K. These the entire image is 1280 by 720, which means this image, which is cropped, is about 700 pixels by whatever, right? So that's not what I'm going to be using for this, because I'm not going to be watching a screen like this. Does that make sense? Like, this image is crap. This is not what I'm going to be comparing. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. I'm going to be working at 4K. I can't, like here, like for me to be able to show you this running like this, not like this, like this, it has to be in a window, right? Otherwise it's going to look like this. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. Just comment that out. This is how it's supposed to be running. And as you'll see, this, or especially with what I call it, with me doing a, yeah, like I can't show you this. Right? It's like, it's not even a corner of the picture. So yeah. So as I said, it's not what my camera is going to be like. That's what my camera is seeing. If I'm not doing it through this ugly window. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyway, it's really struggling. I'm trying to get my hand in the Harris corner of the picture. Okay, anyway. I need to undo that before I forget. Yeah, so that's why those images aren't really worth sharing, because they're low res and blurry and crappy, and they were just for reference for while I was working, so folks can see the output. Okay, now I'm really going to go, because I'm almost at, I've got 1 minute to go before it's 4 hours. I want to stop before it's 4 hours. Bye everyone, thanks very much, I really appreciate it. I will catch hopefully some of you on my stream on Wednesday, and yeah, I probably will do some more coding tonight. Maybe I'll show some stuff on Discord later. Okay, thanks everyone, bye.